Daniela, do you have any idea?
I don't know. I can go call her.
No, I think she's quite new to me. Tapas, are you in the same room? There?
Yes,
He is in the room with me.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. So what we thought is to divide the students is in group 1, it will be Anna and Jack and Sindhu. So we have plant science with a plant science background, Sindhu, animal science background, Jack, and then a little bit of database experience with Anna. Okay. And then on the next group, we have Daniela with plant science background, and then Kim from animal science background, and Jose with the database. Okay, so the training will be more on Jose will be involved not so much, but he will be able to help Kim and Daniela on solving the problems and things like that. And both of these groups will be kind of supervised by Tapas, and he'll be the direct contact for any problems or whatever questions you may have during the process in this project period, basically. Okay. Now, are there any questions, concerns on group division, or you have any preferences with this group division? Any comments from the students? Okay. So what do you think, Sushil? Should we move forward with this?
Yeah, and can you comment on data set, when they will receive the data and when they can start working on it?
Okay, yeah. So now from these two groups, we'd like to have someone from these two groups to kind of coordinate all those things, be a leader of the group and make sure you all are following the path and everyone is working on this project and have like basically bringing all of everyone in the same direction. Okay. And now in this next phase, after this discussion, the next phase, Tapas is going to kind of more demonstration, is going to demonstrate how to start with MySQL and what will be the starting point. And from there, you will be working on your own, but at the same time, you will get enough help for you to move forward as well. And then the data, plant and animal science data should be available by tomorrow for you to start putting together, and you among yourselves, the students, can decide which group is going to take which animal science data or plant science data. And talking about the data I mentioned earlier as well, the data set, although it is animal science and plant science, but the format will be kind of similar regarding the multi-temporal data sets that we have. Okay, and maybe once you receive the data set, then we can go over the data set one more time, and then make sure you understand the variables and what those measurements are, basically. Okay.
Another thing to comment before we move forward is maybe from this week onwards, this project you might need to plan and maybe plan with your team to set up multiple meetings. So this meeting every week will not be able to fulfill all your you will not be able to fulfill the requirements and project details and stuff. So what you will do is today we'll have a session, and after that you might want to have a separate meeting with your team. You have three of you or four of you meet together and start working on it. And this session every Thursday, you will need to provide your report or kind of update on where you are on your team project, right? So basically, what we initially thought of was around like 20 hours per week of time you need to devote for the project. So make sure you work outside of this meeting hour as well, kind of 2 hours of meeting. So make sure you work outside multiple times, and as many times as you need. Find a time that would work for all of your team members, whether it be in the morning, afternoon, evenings, whatever time works for you. We don't have a preference. Set a time that works for all of you. And if you have any questions, feel free to invite us, like me, and maybe we talk about Tapas. I think he would be a resource kind of to build the database and stuff. So invite us as a references if needed, but outside of that, it's on your own. So this is going to be your independent work, your work as a team. So don't wait until we set up a meeting. So moving forward, your team should be working independently. And I think even before moving forward, I would want to have somebody as a team leader for each of those teams. Like since we have Danelia, Kim, and Jose on one team, I don't think Kim is here yet, and I don't see Jose. So I will default Danelia. So basically, I use this veto power and make you the leader for this team, and you will be basically reach out to your team members and explain to them so what is expected, or maybe coordinate the team. So Danelia would be the team leader for team B, whereas do we have anyone interested from team A? With Sindhu, Jack, and Anna. Anyone wants to take a charge for the lead? Anna, Sindhu, and Jack. Anyone wants to volunteer?
I mean, if nobody else will. Oh.
I don't mind doing it either.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
That's the rally. No.
That's beautiful. So we have two team leaders, like both Jack and Anna. So it's not like additional responsibility or anything, but we want somebody, to take a charge and take a lead on work you do. Let's say make everyone accountable for the meetings, have a plan and kind of work together. So you will be kind of not policing others. We don't want leaders to police other and stuff, but you will be kind of leading the team and so that we reach the destination, right? So I think we have both Jack and Anna, both of them are interested, so we can have two team leaders as well, or even like three team. Everyone is a team leader, but somebody needs to take that action first, right? So this you will be uh, taking that first step for the project or something if you need to set up a meeting, right? So that's very beautiful. So we have two team leaders, and what you will do is you will start finalizing when is a good time for the team to meet together, and when to start working on it, and keeping track of like how many hours you work. So of course keep track of those hours, submit those hours for the reimbursement as well. So make sure you keep track of how much hour you put and work for the project, right? So that's all I think I have. You will receive the data set tomorrow. And again, I think we might ask like A and B to check which one will want which data set. So basically there will be two data set. Team A and B would choose which data set to use.
Okay. Any questions on that? Any questions, concerns, suggestions?
By when do we have to have picked the data set that we want to use? Like first thing tomorrow, or like when we all get together for the first time?
Maybe sometime when you all like you can set up your own meeting among
Let's
yourself.
do one thing, Mahendra. I think to create it might create confusion and maybe preference and stuff. I think we will randomly assign two teams the data set. That way, since we have
Okay.
our representative represented on each of those, so somebody might have preference for animal data, plant data might be so those kind of preferences. We'll do a random number from Excel and assign each team one of those data sets. So of course, it's not going to be different. So both of them, they have like temporal component, they have all those requirements for data set, but we will assign the data set and let you know when we upload the data tomorrow, like which team is working on which kind of data set. I think that would be more easier.
Yeah. And one of the things that you all can keep in mind is like, don't think about plant science data or animal science data. Think about how to build the database using that data set. So the focus here is not to learn more on plant science or animal science, but to learn more on how to how to create the database that you like to play around. And then in both of the data sets, there will be some kind of variables like variable A, B, C, and then multi-temporal data that is collected in day 1, day 2, day 3. So it doesn't really matter with animal science or plant science, but what it matters is to learn about the database. Okay. So any other questions? Okay. If not, then are there any other things that we wanted to take care of?
I think we can jump in. So now I think if Tapas can lead how to download the MySQL. So what we want is all students to, if you have a computer in front of you, whatever you wanna work on, so make sure you follow the steps on Tapas. He's gonna show you, and so that you have everything set up, and you can start working for your team projects after this, maybe this week. And yeah, can go ahead.
Hello, am I audible, sir? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, actually, I'm having two systems, some problems. Okay, so like I'm audible, right? It's
Yeah.
loud and clear.
Yeah, we can hear you. Mhm.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay, let me share my screen, and so I'm gonna like I really don't have any slide. I'm just before showing the installation. I just wanted to talk a little bit of how the SQL Workbench works, and then we can go ahead and download, and I will show you how to download, how to configure, and all these things. So okay, great. So the first thing is, so any of you having like the students, any of you having the like, do you guys know what is called server? Any of the students? Okay, so no problem. So a server is mostly like it is the core part of any engine. So like you guys might have heard like the server is down, so the application is not running. So that means the core engine is down. So the similar way, the SQL Workbench also works like that way. We have two parts. One is a server and one is a UI. So first thing what we need to do, we need to download a SQL server, and when we will install it, it will give us an option to download the UI application as well. So we can download those things, and we can configure it, and I will show you a little bit how to configure it, and then we can plan how to. First thing I we talk about to draw a entity relationship diagram, and as Dr. Bhandari will going to give you guys a data set. So first thing we need to know, like what all are our primary components, and based on that we will develop our ER diagram. And once we will develop our ER diagram, then MySQL Workbench having a kind of privilege, we can directly map those things and we can create our beautiful database. So if you just look at this picture, this is the database. It is telling this is database. So this is a core engine where all the tables and all the schemas, whatever we are creating, it will store over here. And then this is a SQL, the connector. So and here is the user and is your system. So in backend, what happens whenever you are writing a query, SQL query, so it will give the instruction to this particular SQL DBMS system, and this connector will give the information to the database, and it will save, update, all the things we can do like that way. So the first thing what you can do, you can just simply go to the Google and just write it down, download SQL Workbench server. It's absolutely free. So what you can do, so once we'll open, so it will show you like my system is a Windows system. Today I'm using the Windows system. For Mac also it is like, it will automatically navigate you. From here you can select if you are having a Mac system or you are having any Ubuntu or Linux system, you can just select it, and then you can go to the download page, and here you can download it. Okay, and when you will download, it will ask you to create a sort of Oracle account. You need to create a Oracle account, and then you are good to download this one. So once you will download, so I will show you the install file will look like this way. This is a Windows system, so it is a .exe file. And if you are having a Mac system, it will be, you will getting a .pkg file, or .dmg file you will get. That is just an extension based on the system. So once you will download, so what you need to do, you need to just simply do a double click. Let me just show you guys. So always the Oracle, when the server little bit tricky. It is not a normal system how it look like. Okay, it is not. It is telling as I'm already installed my Oracle system, so it is not allowing me. Today I have set up the Oracle setup for my Windows machine. So ideally it will show you a installer, and probably I will share you a YouTube video also. I will try to show you a YouTube video. I will share you guys. If you guys stuck anytime or you are finding any kind of difficulties, you can just go there and download it. And the second part, so let me pull up my database. So whenever you will do a database, the first thing is it will always ask you to like, this is a UI. This application, you can see this is a UI standalone application. Like, through this application we can interact with the server. So and whenever you will configure, you just click on this part. Remember this MySQL connection. You just click this part. So it will always, it is a standard TCP/IP. When you will do the setup, you guys can do a setup. You can give your database name. What is the database you want to create? And you can just give all the, like, always remember the username should be root, and your port number always runs on 3306. This is a port number. As we are working on our local system, so this is the default port number. But like you might have seen, like when we are connecting to a cloud server, we need to give here a IP address number and a port number. the server, like the remote server, and we can connect through it. And so as I'm doing it in my local system, so I don't need to do all those things. I just need to give a database name and a host name and a port number. So that will be, you can create a database. And the second part is like how to create a database. So mostly you can see, let me open it. Okay, so like when you will do your server setup, so like this part, like I want you guys to, explore how to install a SQL server, and always remember, like like it will, when you will do your server setup, it will ask you to create a password. The password is kind of authentication. So I have created my password. So you can see, like this is a database, how it look like, the SQL database. So you can see, like here, I have a database called AgriLife AB I have created today. So how to create a database? Actually, SQL Workbench, as we are communicating with the server, so it don't allow you to create a database directly. So for that, what you need to do, you need to first, yeah, and before that, moving to that, let me tell one more thing. So how many of you are using Windows system? Any of you are using Windows system?
I am.
Okay. Okay, so always remember, like how we set the path for a, if you ever worked in the Java or something. So whenever we, even this is applicable to the Mac system also. In Mac system also, you guys need to set a environment variable, right? Environment path in your command prompt, like that, CMD. So always remember, after the database be installed, the server. So then we need to tell our system to, we need to point our system to that particular location where we have downloaded our files. So if you go under the program file, so you can see here MySQL, and you can see I have installed MySQL Server, MySQL Shell, and MySQL Workbench. So when you are installing, remember you guys need to install these three things: MySQL Server, MySQL Shell, and MySQL Workbench. So Workbench is our UI, and Server is the place that is our core engine, and Shell is a kind of connector. So if you go to the server, so this is a location called bean. So under the, like before the bean, these are the place where, you will get your license file and all this thing. So you need to go to your bean folder. This is the core SQL files are available. Like this is the file, whenever you will create a database, or whenever you will do, always be careful about this file. Like always make sure nothing will be deleted from this location, okay? Because it is your core system property. So what I can do, so let me pull up how to, let me just pull up. Okay, so this is a command prompt. Okay, so you need to do one thing before that. You need to set your system variable path. Let me set
Hoppers, let's wait. So let's ask the students if anybody is actually downloading right now or trying to install it. So is anybody working on it right now or watching alone? So the reason I ask is if anyone is actually trying to do it right now or wanting to do it, I think we can, you can kind of go through it, and we can go slowly so that we have you covered, let's say creating an account and installing it. But
Yeah.
if you just want to see it now and maybe watch the recording later on, you can do that as well, right? So basically these are the two options. And anyone installing right now at the real time? Okay, I don't see anybody. So maybe if you want to do it at a later time, just follow the steps on this recording. So this recording would be available. Just follow the steps that like Tapas is going through whenever you install it in your computer. And I really encourage everyone to install this before you head out for your team meeting next week, so that you have this program installed and you can start working on it. Yeah, go ahead, Thomas. Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay, so like mostly, if you are using a Windows system, so like you should, if you are using a AgriLife system, the system from the AgriLife Extension Center, I would strongly recommend like try to use your personal computer, because you need a admin access, and for admin access takes longer time, and we are not that much time right now. And so I would recommend you guys, like later point, if you are trying to use a AgriLife system, you guys might be going to see a hard time. You cannot access this system property, this environment variable. So I would strongly recommend you guys to use your, if you guys having a personal system, try to use that. So if you go here, because it is a admin access thing, without this you can do it. So yeah, so once you click in the environment variable, you can see there is a place called path. So once you click on edit, you can see these are the Python, like the path, like this is my Python things I have already did the setup. This is a putty file. So all the application, like all the development applications, so when we use in the real time, we need to set up a path for the that particular system. Like mostly the the program things, like Java. If you are using Java, you need to create a path. So like you can see here for Python, I have used it. So you can see I have given my SQL Server location here. I am pointing here. So my system is having a access that it can do the changes, and it can interact, because I don't have, like, my local system is my server. Like I do not have any other system as my server. So ideally this is going to work my local system as my server. So you need to set up this particular thing. So or else your SQL won't work. You know you will see a hard time to do that. And for the Mac system also, you need to do the same way. You need to do a setup. And if you do, go on internet and search it, you will find a lot of resources how to do it. Okay. So then the next part we can move on to the how to do how to create a database and all this stuff. I will show you guys. Let me pull up a comment from. So okay, so as I told like this is my core location, my engine location. So I need to navigate to this location to create a database. So if I will go cd, this is like same. The command prompt is same for both Mac and Windows system. So yeah, so right now I'm pointing here. So if you go here, so I'm going to give you a command. You guys should write it down, this command, because you need this command when you will do the setup. So MySQL space -u root -p. So once you will give, and why I'm writing this root is my user. And you guys also remember, when you are, because we are working in a local system, so always remember, when you are installing your server in a local machine, always give this root user. Okay, so you won't be facing any problem. And this p means password. So once I will give that, it will ask me for my password. I'm going to give my local host password, my server password. So if I'll give once, so you can see here it is showing me MySQL. It is connecting to the MySQL server. You guys can see here. So then I wanted to see, like, if you want to see how many databases we have, we can give a command as so databases. Yeah, and always remember these curly braces you need to give at the end. If you are not giving this curly braces, it won't work. So I'm just trying to give as much information as I can, so it won't be a problem for you guys when you guys are going to install it. So you can see right now I'm having AgriLife DB, and these are my local schemas, and what else databases I'm having. It is showing us here. So whenever I wanted to create a new database, so you need to give a command called create database. So let's see. Okay, so before that I can show you here. Let me pull out here. So right now you can see this is my UI. I told you, right? This is the UI for the SQL Workbench. So you can see here I am having two database. This CSC is nothing. This is just a default database. When you will install the SQL server, it will give you the default database. Right now you can see the AgriLife DB. It is showing me here the AgriLife DB. So whenever you wanted to create a database, so right now you can see I'm having two databases. Let me create a one more database. Create database. Let me give you something like this. Any name you can give. Animal science degree. So sorry. See, I have done a mistake here. Like I forgot the curly braces, so it's not happening. So no issues. I will just try. So you always remember to use these curly braces at the end. Create database. Okay, so you can see it is giving me query. Okay, one row affected. So once you create the database, then you need to use this database. I need to tell the server that please use this particular database. So for that, you have a command called use and that particular database. So once you click that, it is telling database change. That means it is right now. Ideally, in the UI, we should see this animal science database. So let's see here. Let's refresh it. Can you see here? Animal science DB. You can see here, right? So this is the way. And if you right now it is an empty database. If you see all the tables, everything is right now empty. So then then once we will create our ER diagram, then we will go slowly how to create a table and all these things. We can talk about that. So right now, so this is the the initial installation part. So ideally, you guys should able to install the software and you can run it, and then we can go ahead and we will do it later. Then I want to talk about one more thing. So as I told the ER diagram the last time I talked about the ER diagram. Let me see if I'm having input of the ER. Yeah. So last session we talked about this particular entity relationship diagram, who is having what connection, how to connect it, and probably you guys can start creating a ER diagram, and then what we can do, like we will see, like we will, like as the last session Dr. Lucy was talking about, we can import from the Excel sheet. So if we can figure it out that way, and ideally, like the students, you guys should work a little bit more, and I know like it can be, it is mostly possible. So once you guys can work on it, so probably we can import the Excel files, and automatically it will take our place, like what all data we want. So in that way, with a very less effort, we can create the database. Then probably you guys can practice a little bit of SQL queries, like how to create, how to get the data from the database, how to update a record, how to delete a record, and all these things we can play around later also. So before that, there is a tool called draw.io. Okay, so this is a very helpful tool. I have used couple of times. So if you guys can, it is an online tool. Let me show you guys. If you guys are really interested, let me just try create a new diagram. Okay, let's go with the plan. Just I will write it down here.io. Okay, so you can see this tool, this little tool will come up over here. This is a very nice tool to create a entity relationship diagram. So you can drag here. You can give the entity name like canopy, canopy cover or something. Let's see, canopy cover. And if you want to give some color, you can use this one to give a color. And whenever you want to define a relationship, you can take a arrow from here, you can use it here with this one, and you can create another kind of entity or anything you want to do it, you can do it. Like this, you can create an entity relationship diagram by using this particular tool. And later point when we will see, like that way we can figure it out, like if you are any wrong happening or anything we wanted to update, or if you guys wanted to do some kind of changes, you can share this file also to the other person. uh, so that this is a very helpful tool. I would strongly recommend if you guys can explore a bit and you guys can use it. So that would be a helpful thing for you guys. So yes. So ideally, this is just a kickstart part for you guys, I think. Uh, so, so we have time if you are able to download it, or if you guys can try to download it if you are facing any issues or anything, you can. So, Professor Bhandari and Professor Sushil, uh, like the initial part, what we planned, probably I have covered much thing. So if they have any questions, we can discuss as well. I'm open up for it.
Yeah, I think let's get back to the students if they have any questions or what is their comments or anything. So one of the things is like, do you think you'll be able to download by watching this video, or do you want to start downloading and have us like wait for a while so Tapas can answer some of the questions that you have? Any response, Anna? What do you think? I think Anna
I'd
is
rather
quite familiar with the database.
I'd rather continue watching Tacos demonstrate and then download later.
Uh-huh.
Just not sure where to find the recordings.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'll. So by the evening, you'll receive a link for a folder where all these materials will be available in that folder. All the recordings, lecture materials, and all those things. Okay, you can look at it tomorrow morning. I should be able to put everything together by the end of the day today. Okay. Any more questions? I think Daniela, maybe the plant and animal science students. What do you all think? Because Anna has been a little bit familiar with this database system, I think. Zach, do you think you'll be able to download watching the video?
I actually downloaded it and I'll ask Tapas again to run the software, something like I've seen the bin and all the folders in there, and ask him again.
Okay.
I mean, I already downloaded it.
Okay. So we just need to set up the password and all those things.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think that this is kind of starting point. So now you all need to be spending time and working on the project. Let's say from start to download this system and have it ready, or even start with that IO, draw.io. Maybe start with the diagrams when you get the data set tomorrow, and yeah, keep and get started with your team. Keep the momentum flowing. Let's say have start working together. If you have any questions, like feel free to reach out to us. And yeah, I think the goal now is to keep the ball rolling, to keep you all more active on that end, and learn from doing. So basically the concept now is the more you practice, the more you do stuff, I think that's how you will learn it. So our goal is to make you more practicable and learn those things.
And one more thing I think we forget to mention earlier, Cecile, is in this weekly meeting from next week, we're gonna have you like talk about what you did for the past week for 20 minutes, and then we'll have Tapas and Jose in that meeting, and then see what the problems are and see how much progress you made during the week. And then that will be followed by a lecture session on some topics. Okay. So any questions? What you all think? Maybe we can go one more round of comments or anything from, especially from the students on what they think about this, and do they have any suggestions? Okay, this is what if they have any other interest with the database or something else. Maybe you guys can share what you feel. And any volunteers? Okay, I will pick up the name. I think Jack, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm excited to get working on this. I'm kind of working on a Mac right now, so I don't know how that will change things or if it'll translate over. I know that a lot of y'all are on Microsoft, so I am a little bit worried about that. But other than that, I'm excited to work with my group and ready to start.
Okay, good, wonderful. Daniela. Daniela, are you there?
Yeah, I was trying to find the mic.
Okay.
I'm kind of excited, but I'm nervous because my group members aren't here, so I have to like inform them. But the good thing is that we have the video recording, so if I do miss anything, we have the recording. Um, I can't wait to download what I need for my computer. I have a Mac also, so it tends to it's kind of old, so hopefully it don't break in the process. But I'm kind of excited to start something and see the end result by the end of this internship.
Wonderful. Yeah, that is what we are looking forward as well. What we can come up with, with all these multidisciplinary teams working together and seeing how we can move forward from there. Anna, do you have any comments?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Okay. Sindhu.
Good. Like that's it. I'm gonna install it and see how it runs. So Jack and Daniela were telling that they are using Mac and they don't know how to download it. Like what I did is I installed a virtual Windows, like the parallel Windows software, and then through that I installed the MySQL. I mean, it will show the Windows software if you install that application, like parallel Windows. Yeah, so you can be able to download it.
Okay. And if there are if there are not any comments from students, maybe Dr. Lucy, do you have Anything you would like to share?
Hello.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. I think you all, both of you, already mentioned a very good points. Like students, they after they look at the data, they definitely need to study to see what kind of data they have, what are the attributes. Maybe also clean the data if necessary. Then come up with the design. For example, how many tables we need, how those tables are linked together, using the two types mentioned to generate the ER model. And then from there, they can create a database. But I think I'd like to add one more point. I think maybe by next week, each group might come up with some kind of goals or they want to achieve by the end of this some project. So they can have some clear goal they can work on and achieve. Then we can from there build up some task or subtask.
Yeah, I think that will be a very good thing to do, so that they are in track of that what they need to achieve by the end of this project.
Yeah.
And I
And
think
again,
once they download and get settled and try to create a project in MySQL, then we can definitely list out the activities or develop a pathway for them to work on.
yeah, and again, this is teamwork. So definitely like a communicate, work together.
Definitely, I think with this being a teamwork, although we define somebody as a leader, I think we need to be clear that that person will not be doing work for you. So all of you need to be working independently. So leader is just helping us helping you all facilitate the meetings or facilitate where you are, but that person will not work for you. So basically, all of you need to designate time and provide enough effort for the project. So it's not depending on or piggybacking on somebody else. So all of you need to put equal amount of hours and time for the project. And that's how you learn actually. So all this data, database and analysis and everything, you don't learn until you do it. So you'll need to be proactive and working and finding things that you want to learn.
Okay. Sounds good. Any more questions?
Hello, Professor. Like a lot of students are using Mac, so would you mind if I will show them a little bit of glance? Because I'm having a Mac system as well. I can
Okay,
showcase them
sure,
maybe
sure,
because I
sure.
think they're having time probably. That can be maybe helpful to these guys.
Mhm.
Hmm. So let me share my screen. Are you guys able to see my screen? You're able to see my screen, right? Okay.
Yes,
Am I audible?
yes.
Yeah. I'm audible, right?
Yeah, we are good.
I'm just having multiple systems, so I wanted to make sure. Okay, so the guys, listen. This is not a big deal. You just need to come here and just see download SQL Workbench server. Once you will guys click on that, so go to this link. Okay. So once you click that, so it is gonna take you to this page. Right now you can see it is showcasing here. It is Mac OS as a lot of guys, but make sure your operating system should be bigger than the Big Sur. Okay, because maybe they are not supporting the lower version that. And currently the Mac version is I think I'm having the latest. So you know that this is the latest Mac version is going on. So ideally, you guys having this particular, Big Sur or later stage of operating system, you just need to go here and click, login. Go to this login. It will ask you this kind of page. I have created an account, so let me just try to showcase you guys. Yeah. So once you come here, it is showing, you can see the .dmg file. You can just click on that. You can download this particular DMG file. Let me. So ideally, you will get this DMG file, and then after that, the same way, like how it is installing in Windows, the same way it is gonna, you can install this particular thing. And once you're able to do it, so like as like most of the guys, you might have, familiar with this, this particular terminal in the Mac system. So you guys go to go here and you can do setup, like as window is having that environment variable setup, but remember Mac doesn't have that. Mac is having the different kind of this SSH terminal, and most of things happens in Mac from this from the command line. So you should just try to Google it, and if you guys are finding difficulty, we will help you guys. And after that, you can see, like, this is a this particular system is developed in Mac, and yeah, I can see the database. Let me just see. So the ideally thing is, like, you guys not gonna have any problem with the Mac system if you are having. So the same thing, the same application we can get in Mac system also. So ideally, you guys should able to download it, and that's gonna be helpful to you. Okay. So it's not a problem. Just don't scare. Just try it. Do some hit and trial. Just search on the web. You guys will be fine. Or else we are there. We will help you guys. Yeah, so that's all I just wanted to show them, as most of them are using Mac system, and ideally, so they should having a path right now how to do that. Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you, Tapas.
And I know this generation is very active and finding things, maybe YouTube and stuff. There may be a lot of other resources. So try to get get started and try to find things. And if you are stuck, we can always reach out to us and we can have some discussion. Of course, I'm not a big user of MySQL as well, so I might also need to reach out to somebody who will be able to help you with that as well.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. So I think we should be good for today.
Yeah, and I think we should be good today. So just think about so we'll update the email ID for all students as well on the folder. So you'll have the team member's name and the email ID, and try to reach out to them, schedule the meeting for next week before we meet here, and keep the ball rolling even though we don't meet here. So try to get ahead of us basically. And one more thing before we head out. So next week we'll have our midterm survey. So I will be sending that survey next week sometime. So keep an eye on that for our midterm survey coming from us, one of us. Yeah, that's all from me. So if we don't have any other questions, we can wrap up the session and let you all work on things that matters more.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you, Tapas.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.